You're watching Good Morning Charleston with John Bruce, Tessa Spencer, Emily Gracie, Megan Rivers, and Trooper Bob. This is Good Morning Charleston.
Start off this hour with a breaking news story just into our newsroom. Crews respond to a structure fire in Hollywood that's just off Highway 162.
Trooper Bob is on the way and will give us more information as soon as he gets there. St. Paul's Fire Department and Charleston County Sheriff's Office are responding.
We brought Casey to his family just like we said we were going to do. We did not give up. We were very persistent. Little fella is happy.
I think we're all happy. What an announcement out of North Carolina. While you were sleeping, 3-year-old Casey Hathaway was found safe. An FBI spokesperson says the boy is in good health and talking this morning.
Such good news. He vanished from his grandmother's house in North Carolina earlier this week, and authorities had feared the worst. Temperatures dropped to life-threatening levels over a 3-day search, but Casey was found by search and rescue in Craven County. No word yet how he ended up there.
Great ending right there.
And that's great news to start out your Friday back here in the Low Country. Everyone's waking up to some colder temperatures this morning. Very different from what we were seeing this time yesterday.
Very, very different. In fact, meteorologist Emily Gracie in our weather center getting you ready for the day and the weekend. So, Em, how are we looking as we approach Friday?
Well, some good as the bad. Yes, we are significantly colder this morning. We were in the 60s yesterday at this time. This morning, mid-30s. It's 36 right now in Charleston, 36 in Somerville, as well as Moncks Corner. And that is 30 degrees colder than it was yesterday. Just 24 hours ago, we were dealing with the wind, the rain, but also mild temperatures. That cold front passed yesterday morning. It has left behind clear skies and lighter winds here this morning. So quieter morning, not much to slow you down out there, but bundle those kids up as you are headed out the door. It's going to be in the 30s at the bus stop this morning, and then by this afternoon, it is going to be in the 50s. So a little bit of a change here in our weather. We do have even colder temperatures in our forecast. I'll talk about when we will drop down below the 30-degree mark and which day next week we could make it back into the mid-60s. That's coming up.
This ABC News 4 Traffic Tracker Report is sponsored by Fred Anderson Toyota of Charleston.
Starting with that live look right now at I-26 at the 52 connector, starting to see that increase in those eastbound lanes as folks are heading towards downtown Charleston. The drive times are starting to reflect it just a little bit right now. Somerville to 526, 13 minutes. To downtown Charleston, 22 minutes. Ashley Phosphate Road to downtown Charleston, that drive time is just 12 minutes. Now we're going to send things out to the only traffic tracker in the Low Country, Trooper Bob. And Bob, you've left West Ashley and heading towards a structure fire right now. How's the traffic as you're heading towards Hollywood?
Right, we're on Savannah Highway coming up the main road. As you can see, a little heavier traffic headed towards the city. And if you're working out there in Kiel with Seabrook Island, it looks good to you coming over here down this way. I'll tell you, I'm just so happy they found that little boy up there in North Carolina. I've been thinking about him the last couple days. You know, I put those 9 p.m. Do you know where kids are posts out and thought of them during that time. So I'm glad he's okay. So I'll let you know what I find out. I should be there in that fire in about 10 minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, Bob's on it. Thanks, Bob. Breaking overnight, authorities in Georgia looking for a suspect who they say killed 4 people. Deputies say that happened late last night in Rockmart. That's about 45 miles northwest of Atlanta. 4 people were killed. 1 was wounded in 2 shootings. The 5th victim was taken to the hospital. Investigators say that the 2 locations just blocks away from one another. And the names of those victims have not yet been released.
Today, DOT officials are scheduled to give an update on the Wando Bridge repairs. Chances are you remember what happened in May of 2018. The westbound side of that bridge was closed. A damaged cable was found during a routine inspection. Lanes were reopened in June. Engineers will provide information on the monitoring of that bridge and improvements planned for this year. Our Angela Brown will be at that meeting happening this afternoon at 2. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at ABC News 4 for live updates. You can also download our app and stay up to date on our website, abcnews4.com.
And the Beresford Creek Bridge on Daniel Island is now open to non-truck traffic. That bridge had been closed for several days while a 2-inch thick steel plate was installed. An inspection uncovered problems with that bridge just last week.
Today, hundreds of thousands of federal workers will be without a paycheck yet again. This comes one day after 2 Senate bills to end the partial government shutdown failed. ABC's Lana Zach tells us about the movement happening right now to reopen the government.
Today, several thousand federal workers are missing another paycheck.
I received my last paycheck December 31st.
I haven't been paid in over 33 days.
The shutdown lasting so long that the federal courts are running out of money. Civil cases are expected to be suspended now. Many federal workers are reaching the breaking point.
At what point do I resign from this agency? I can't continue to afford to fund my family out of my savings and continue to pay for myself to go to work.
But for the first time in weeks, there are signs that Washington leaders may be moving towards progress after both the Republican and Democrat-sponsored bills failed to reach the 60 votes needed to pass.
Now you've got Leader McConnell and the minority leader trying to figure out what we can do.
A handful of Republican senators crossed party lines to vote for the Democrats' bill to reopen the government, which received more votes than the president's proposal, sending a message to the White House.
If they come to a reasonable agreement, I would support it.
President Trump now saying he could be amenable to reopening the government if Democrats
pay a sort of a prorated down payment for the wall.
Meanwhile, the president's Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, himself a billionaire, is being criticized for these remarks on CNBC.
There are reports that there are some federal workers who are going to homeless shelters to get food.
Well, I know they are, and I don't really quite understand why. There's no real reason why they shouldn't be able to get a loan.
Now, it's still not clear if President Trump would support a temporary measure to reopen the government if it does not include border wall funding. He is reportedly also still looking into the possibility of an emergency declaration. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
And today, federal workers here at the Palmetto State would like to make their voices heard. There's a planned peaceful rally happening today at Senator Lindsey Graham's office in Mount Pleasant. It's being held by the South Carolina chapter of the AFL-CIO. That nonprofit advocates for workers' rights. The peaceful rally starts at 11 this morning on Johnny Dodds Boulevard. And if you'd like to help furloughed Coast Guard workers, well, grab a pint. Frothy Beard Brewing Company in West Ashley is holding a fundraiser to help out those temporarily out of work federal workers. It's from 6 to close tonight. They're going to donate $1 to Coast Guard members and families for every pint sold.
You can help as well. We're teaming up with the Low Country Food Bank to help out people affected by the shutdown. ABC News 4 collecting donations until the end of the month. And a look now at the donations we've gotten in so far. You can drop those donations off at our station in Mount Pleasant during business hours. And we've got a special thank you, huge thank you to the person who donated 2 bags of items. They actually heard us talking about it on Good Morning Charleston on yesterday, and they stopped in.
So thank you so much. Please give what you can. On now to some new laws that could protect pets before they're even adopted.
Lawmakers considering multiple bills right now. Alexandria Savage live at the Charleston Animal Society this morning. Alexandria, good morning. Tell us more.
Good morning, John and Tessa. Lawmakers are proposing a bill that could help prevent repeat animal cruelty offenders from being able to adopt pets. They say it's a great first step to helping protect animals in our Palmetto State. And that's what they do here at the Charleston Animal Society. It is truly a life-saving center. Here at the Charleston Animal Society, with new legislation, those convicted of animal cruelty couldn't adopt a pet for up to 5 years from the date of their conviction. We spoke with the former York County Sheriff and current State Representative Bruce Bryant, who is named on the bill. He says there are several laws like this being discussed. He's a pet owner, so he knows it's necessary to protect pets from potentially dangerous adoptions.
Personally, I can't see anything that would be negative about it. Anybody that loves animals are going to do what's right for the animal. Somebody else had already filed a bill, and I said, well, just put me on it.
Yeah, keep doing that. We spoke to workers here in North Charleston, and they say their current vetting process deters potentially dangerous owners from adopting pets. We're told they believe this law is a good thing, but there still need to be some changes. In the next half hour, we're speaking with the man in charge here at the Charleston Animal Society, and he'll tell us what still needs to be done. Working for you in North Charleston, Alexandria Savage, ABC News 4.
The city's responsibilities are multifaceted, but we consider it an honor and a privilege to do our part on behalf of the people of North Charleston.
North Charleston Mayor Keith Sunny there highlighting the city's accomplishments over the past year at his State of the City address that was delivered last night. The mayor specifically highlighted production of 20,000 Mercedes-Benz vans from Amazon. He also emphasized the creation of North Charleston Peace Walkers. Mayor Sunny said a top priority in 2019 increase in the quality of life in the South End, including getting a grocery store as an anchor tenant to eradicate that so-called food desert.
It's 8 minutes now after 6, and Charleston police say Tamongo McCord is expected back in court in March. He's charged with sexual misconduct. McCord is accused of raping a 10-year-old boy back in 1993. Police say the case was reopened in October. DNA evidence led to that arrest. McCord appeared before a Charleston County magistrate Thursday. He was denied bond.
We're still waiting to learn the name of a motorcyclist who died after a wreck last night. We first brought you that story in ABC News 4 at 7. North Charleston police say that wreck happened on Rivers Avenue. Police say that the motorcyclist was thrown from the bike after being hit by a car. No word on if charges will be filed. Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway, name a better duo. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. They've teamed up for a new movie. It's called Serenity, while McConaughey called it a dream role. And now the movie has already made Hollywood history.
Oh, I have a favorite duo. We'll talk in just a second. All right, take a look. Your coffee meter for today. Those temperatures, they were nice and warm yesterday, right? Well, we are right back below average this morning, waking up to the 30s as opposed to the 60s. I'll let you know how long the chill sticks around in the air coming up.
Live look right now at 526 East and westbound, right around Leeds Avenue. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you how long it'll take you to get from West Ashley over to Mount Pleasant.
And people in one Berkeley County neighborhood are fed up. The recent fix, they say, is just not enough. And why one woman says this one road has ruined the neighborhood.
This ET Red Carpet Rollout is sponsored by Carpet Wholesalers.
I'm Kevin Frazier. Matthew McConaughey's new thriller, Serenity, has him teaming up with Anne Hathaway and one of his icons.
Good to see you, John. Took so long to find you. It's funny, huh?
My ex-wife just shows up out of nowhere, like a ghost. And she has a very indecent proposal for me.
I will give you $10 million to drop my husband in the ocean for the sharks.
If you've seen the trailer, you know you have a sense of the vibe, of the feeling of the movie.
Things are not as they seem.
Exactly.
Okay, John, you want the truth?
Matthew plays a fishing boat captain whose life is thrown into turmoil when his past comes back to haunt him. But for the 49-year-old, reuniting with his Interstellar co-star Anne was a dream.
I knew I enjoyed working with Anne right away and would welcome the opportunity to do it again. Anyway, when she came on board with this, it was like, perfect.
Done.
Yes.
I felt very lucky when I met Matthew on Interstellar because I just knew that I wanted Matthew in my life in some kind of influential way.
Some weird stuff going on right now. Where in the world are we?
The twisty thriller made history as the first Hollywood feature film shot on the East African island of Mauritius. And the movie also marks a personal milestone for Matthew.
Got to work with Miss Diane Lane, who I've always been a fan of and have had my fair share of crushes on.
They say she came all the way to see you.
It was a bit of a time travel because when I had the crush on her, and it began with Lonesome Dove, I was really young. So it's sort of like I time leapt forward and was like, oh, I'm sitting here now with my crush in a scene that has some of that feel in it. Sometimes we do bad things for good reasons.
For Entertainment Tonight, I'm Kevin Frazier.
All right, crews right now on the scene of a reported fire down in Hollywood. We're told it's a James F. Peterson Co. just off Highway 162. That's a family-owned and operated public utilities contractor.
Trooper Bob just got out to that scene. And what are you seeing right now, Bob?
Highway 62 is blocked around the 5500 block of Highway 62. You see heavy smoke in the air. It's as high as you can see. I don't know what you can see on your screen here, but I'm looking up. There's a lot of activity going around. The police have shut the roadway down. Fire crews are at the scene. It looks like they're steady fighting this fire, but this is as close as we can get. Again, this is in Hollywood on Highway 162.
ABC News 4 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Emily Gracie.
All right, a cold morning out there. Temperatures back in the mid-30s today after a brief little rise into the 60s yesterday morning. So big difference out there as you're stepping out the door. Bundle the kids up, bundle yourself up as you are headed out. And you'll need that hot cup of coffee. Take a look at this. 36 our current temperature. The good news is this camera is not shaking around like it was yesterday. Remember yesterday it was like bad motion sickness getting that camera view out there. But this morning a whole different story. Lighter winds, colder conditions, and clearer skies. 30 degrees is what it it feels like. So we do have a light wind out there, just enough that is knocking that wind chill temperature down just a tad, but nothing too uncomfortable here this morning as far as wind chills. Let's talk about the next few mornings. We have some changes in our forecast. Tomorrow morning and Sunday morning are going to be pretty chilly. In fact, right around that freezing mark. And then as we go in towards the later part of the weekend and early next week, those temperatures will come up a little bit. So overnight lows should be above that freezing mark, above that frost possibility too, and then plummeting right back down into the 20s by the middle of next week. Another front on the way. That's going to bring a chance of rain into the forecast, but really another big swing in temperature. So our up and down temperature ride here continues for several more days. Live look out there on our satellite radar imagery. Nothing showing up, no clouds, no rain. It is a clear morning, and we are going to stay that way through most of the weekend. So your outdoor weekend plans looking pretty good. It is going to be cooler though. So we have this reinforcing cold front coming through today. The first one came through yesterday. That had the rain with it. This one is just more of a temperature change. It's a weak front, so we're not expecting even any cloud cover really with it. But we could see those dip in temperatures here. So while this morning we're in the mid to upper 30s, tomorrow morning we're going to be around that 30-degree mark. So cooler conditions coming in for the start of the weekend. Let's talk long term though, because we do have another weather maker eventually down the road. Nothing impacting us this weekend, even into early next week. There'll be this little coastal disturbance here, but it shouldn't impact us. Maybe a few clouds late Sunday night or early Monday morning, but that's about it. Our next weather maker though comes in on Tuesday night. There it is right there. A pretty strong front, some cold air on the backside of it. You can see that snow with that front. We're not going to get any snow here in Charleston, but we are going to get a big dip in temperatures starting on Wednesday. So Tuesday night that comes through. By Wednesday morning it is cold out there. Wednesday afternoon going to stay in the 40s. Today though 50s, a little bit below average here, but nothing too extreme. Sunshine in the forecast, lighter winds. Tonight will be cold, 30 degrees for that overnight low. But looking ahead to the end of the weekend, Low Country Oyster Festival happening on Sunday. It'll be chilly, especially for the start of it, but nobody wants warm weather while they're shucking oysters anyway. So we are in for that big cool down next week. I'll have the details on that timeline coming up in the 7-day forecast.
This ABC News 4 Traffic Tracker Report is sponsored by Fred Anderson Toyota of Charleston.
All right, Charleston County Dispatch is reporting an accident along Ashley Phosphate Road at Palmetto Commerce Parkway. No injuries being reported from that scene, but it is blocking traffic, so at least one lane in that area is blocked. The drive times right now along I-26 aren't looking too terribly bad. 13 minutes down to 526 from Somerville, 22 minutes from Somerville to downtown, 12 minutes from Ashley Phosphate Road to downtown Charleston. Our talker right now is that fire out in Hollywood. Trooper Bob is on the scene along Highway 162 out in Hollywood. And Bob, how long do you think this road will be blocked? I know you had a chance to speak with officers there on the scene.
You know, it looks like they're going to be here for a little while. I mean, there's still a heavy presence of smoke. You can smell it in the air right now. And also, if you're coming to this area, Highway 162 is blocked. So if you're coming through here, you're going to have to take Highway 17, Savannah Highway, to 165 and go down to Hollywood or Meggett if you live in that area. And if you're leaving Meggett or Hollywood, you just take 165 up to Highway 17 and then come into Charleston or head towards Jacksonboro that way. But just avoid 162 altogether. But the roadway is blocked. They're going to be out here for a little while.
All right, so you've heard of a DUI, right? What about a DUI-E coming out? The proposed law that could change South Carolina roadways.
And a lot of you are sharing this on our Facebook page right now. The new number of people who reported getting sick at a Low Country restaurant that goes way past the initial estimation.
We're in for some cooler weather over the next couple of days. Overnight lows especially will drop down below the freezing mark. Afternoon highs in the mid to upper 50s through the weekend, but sunny and dry. A little bit of a warm up through the start of next week. And then a cold front passing Tuesday into Wednesday will bring much chillier temperatures by the end of next week.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the superintendent of schools in Elwood, Indiana, is back on the job this morning after being charged with insurance fraud.
I just want it to be over with so we can just get back to the business of educating kids.
According to police, Casey Smitherman went to the home of a sick student and took him to a medical center where she used a false name claiming he was her son.
I have a student I've been helping and he was sick and I believed it was strep throat.
She then admits to driving him to a pharmacy where she had a prescription filled for an antibiotic because the student didn't have insurance.
I'm not saying that was right. I'm really sorry. I was scared for him.
She says she's helped the boy before, even buying clothes, food, and Christmas gifts for him because he lives with an elderly family member who doesn't have a car. And we'll have a reaction from the school board coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Lindsay Davis, ABC News, New York.
All right, following breaking news out of Hollywood this morning, live look, crews responding to a fire there. Trooper Bob is on the scene. You can actually see smoke rising up right there. Our Alexandria Savage is also headed to that fire scene. We'll get live reports from you when we can.
Yeah, we're told this is happening at James F. Peterson Company. It's a family-owned and operated public utilities contractor. This is just off Highway 162. A portion of that highway is closed as a result. We are working to learn more information and keep you updated both on air and online at abcnews4.com.
Much colder morning out there. That cold front came through yesterday, and we are left with 30s here this morning. So bundle up as you are headed out the door. Those temperatures are going to fall another degree or two before the sun comes up, but we're at 36 right now in Charleston, 36 in Somerville, and 37 in Mount Pleasant. So clear skies. We don't have to worry about any cloud cover or rain today. In fact, a very dry forecast for the next several days. You may need those sunglasses as you're headed out the door. On the way to school this morning, though, mid-30s rising to near 50 by lunchtime and mid-50s this afternoon. Nothing but sunshine today, but we do have rain in that extended forecast. I'm going to tell you which day next week we get that rain and what those temperatures are going to do afterwards. That's coming up.
This ABC News 4 Traffic Tracker Report is sponsored by Fred Anderson Toyota of Charleston.
Hey, it's Trooper Bob. I'm still out here on Highway 162 at this house fire. Still see a heavy presence of smoke in the air. The fire department has this hose lined all the way up back to where we are, where the sheriff's office has blocked the roadway. If you can see, here's another view of the fire hose. I'm going to tell you, I'm so glad the sheriff's office was out here because we were able to free some of that water going into that hose because that hose got kinked up here back at the hydrant. So here's another look at the fire. Avoid this area, Highway 162. This is the 5500 block of 162. Megan, what are you seeing on your end?
Yeah, well, we're giving people some alternate routes. The sheriff's office is tweeting out an alternate route along Highway 162. Like you said, it's closed in both directions. So they're rerouting traffic up to Salters Hill Road. That's one route you can take to avoid that area. We're going to take a look at drive times right now along 526 from Mount Pleasant to West Ashley. The drive time right now is 19 minutes. 61 miles per hour is the average speed. Drive time right now from West Ashley to Mount Pleasant, that drive time is also 19 minutes. The average speed is 58 miles per hour. Now, coming up next, we'll be taking a look at those drive times along I-26 and let you know if we see any of those slowdowns and update you on those wrecks along Ashley Phosphate Road. John, Tessa?
I knew this morning, right now, a little boy recovering in an intensive care unit after a vicious dog attack. 3-year-old Aeon is currently at Palmetto Health Children's Hospital. His mom says that he was attacked by a dog that broke free from his gate up in Columbia. Deputies say the injuries he suffered Tuesday were so severe you can actually see that little boy's skull. His mother says that Aeon will need several surgeries to recover.
You know, you don't expect stuff like this. So I'm just trying to stay positive for him and for myself. I want him to feel the love and vibe from me so that he know I'm here for him.
Doctors say it's going to take at least 3 years to fix one of Aeon's ears. A GoFundMe account has been set up to pay for those medical bills.
It is 6:33 now. I've got an update on a story that we've been following. State Representative Wendell Gilliard will address flooding at a downtown cemetery today. That meeting happening at 11 this morning at North Charleston City Hall. Flooding has been an ongoing issue at Monrovia Cemetery, where buried caskets were recently exposed because of it.
And plans in the works right now to upgrade a corridor of I-26 in Dorchester County. South Carolina's Department of Transportation says they're going to build more traffic lanes on I-26. The goal here, of course, to alleviate Charleston's growing traffic congestion.
State leaders proposed their solutions Thursday night, and people who live and work nearby showed up. The 3-year construction plan also includes construction at the I-26 interchange and Cypress Campground Bridge.
This will improve the everyday commute, the life of the residents in the area that are trying to get down to Charleston, Somerville area. It'll improve the operations of the interstate as well as any delays that may be associated with it.
We're told that a design on the decision will be made in November. Construction project set to cost about $150 million. That'll be paid for with federal and state funding.
Well, some drivers in Berkeley County finally have a fix this morning. SCDOT just repaired a huge pothole on Alligator Road. But those who live nearby say that's not enough. Lisa Curtis says it wasn't always like this in her neighborhood.
was nice and quiet and peaceful. You didn't have to worry about getting run over by dump trucks. You didn't get woke up to them, you know, the sounds of them at 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning.
The intersection itself is smoother than before, but potholes still line the sides of Alligator Road for miles. We've set up an interview with a DOT spokesman and will continue to follow this story.
Ever feel like South Carolina drivers are particularly bad? Well, you're not wrong. Quote Wizard has now released 2019's best and worst states for driving. South Carolina ranking second. Maine, actually, the worst rated state. On the other side of things, Michigan rated the best state for drivers, while Mississippi came in second place.
And don't even reach for that phone when you're driving. Pretty soon, even touching it could get you in trouble with the law. A new South Carolina bill covers something called a DUIE, or driving under the influence of an electronic device. Right now, in South Carolina, texting while driving is considered a secondary offense. But under this proposal, you'd be breaking the law if you even reach for a phone in an unsafe way.
It finally puts something down on statute that says if you're using your device while you're driving, hands-free is okay, but if you're holding that device, if you're watching a video, if you're sending a text while you're driving, that's not good.
The bill is now headed to the Education and Public Works Transportation Subcommittee. Several other states, including Washington and Georgia, have passed DUIE laws.
All right, tax season is upon us once again. It could get tricky, though, with the partial government shutdown. That's why Charleston County Council now considering waiving property tax penalties for federal employees. That'll be on the Finance Committee agenda for a meeting happening February 7th. Property taxes were due in Charleston County January 15th. The next round of late penalties will be on February 4th if they aren't paid in full. And on Monday, South Carolina's Department of Revenue will begin accepting those tax returns. The department is urging South Carolinians to file electronically. They say it's a good way to cut down on return time and fight fraud. Processing expected to take about 6 to 8 weeks.
In ABC News 4 update now, DHEC has released the final numbers of people who reported getting sick at Somerville's La Carreta restaurant. They say more than 280 people submitted complaints to DHEC. That restaurant's on Old Trolley Road and was closed for 10 days last month after multiple people fell ill with norovirus. That location has since reopened.
And Berkeley County deputies are still looking for this man, David McGrew. They say that he sexually assaulted a 15-year-old sometime last year. Deputies say the 39-year-old knows they're looking for him. He's known to be in the area of Capers Drive in Ladson and River Run Court in Monk's Corner. If you see him, please call Crime Stoppers.
Well, looking ahead, addressing hate crime in the Lowcountry. The Charleston Police Department just announced a forum that'll take place next month. Lowcountry leaders, including Mayor John Tecklenburg and Police Chief Luther Reynolds, will speak. It's happening February 20th at 6 p.m. at 360 Meeting Street.
6:37, grab your chainsaws, prepare your emergency bunker. Scientists worry that doomsday might not actually be that far off. Why they say they have reason to believe that the world could end sooner rather than later. Happy Friday.
Well, it's cold out there, that's for sure. Temperatures right now are in the 30s. It actually feels like 30 degrees thanks to a light wind. I'll let you know when our actual temperatures will drop below the 30-degree mark. That's coming up.
A crash in Berkeley County along Old Rice Mill Road at Teal Road. No injuries. We'll tell you how long we think that roadway is going to be closed coming up next. And we're checking back in with Trooper Bob, the only traffic tracker in the Lowcountry, who's at that fire scene out in Hollywood. That's next.
An update on that fire in Hollywood that we've been following this morning. Trooper Bob on the scene and just posted this photo from a source on the scene. You can see flames coming out of the roof of that home.
Wow, it's a live look there right now. Trooper Bob not allowed any closer than this. In fact, I think he actually might have moved back a little bit. We're told this is happening at James F. Peterson Company. That's a family-owned and operated public utilities contractor. We're working to learn the cause of that fire and if anyone was hurt. You know, making headlines this morning, REM's song, It's the End of the World, might just be minutes from becoming a reality. A group of scientists say the symbolic doomsday clock remains at 2 minutes before midnight. That is the same as last year. That clock symbolizes human existence and life on Earth. Midnight represents global annihilation. It's updated each year by the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. They say that this is the closest the clock has ever come to apocalyptic midnight.
The business of everyday politics blinds people to the risk. We're playing Russian roulette with humanity, and the danger and the probability is mounting that there will be some kind of nuclear incident that will kill millions, if not initiating exchanges that will kill billions.
They say that America's withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal is one reason for concern. Another is global carbon dioxide emissions continued to increase in 2017 and 18.
Well, Coca-Cola just released its commercial for Super Bowl 53.
He drinks Coke and she drinks Coke.
Even though they disagree.
Oh. And while the bottles look alike, you aren't the same as me.
The theme is Together is Beautiful. The commercial was inspired by a 1975 quote from artist Andy Warhol about diversity and inclusion. Pepsi is a sponsor of the halftime show and also plans to run ads.
17 kids now get the chance to go to the Super Bowl in Atlanta as part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. One of those kids, 11-year-old Liam Kelly, known as Lucky. He's been asking to go to the big game for 3 years now, but this is the first year he's finally felt well enough to make that trip. Lucky says he's a Cardinals fan, but this year he's rooting for the LA Rams to win.
We're tracking breaking news when it comes to Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. This is new information in from the Associated Press just the last few minutes. Roger Stone, an associate of President Donald Trump, has been arrested in Florida. He's charged with witness tampering, obstruction, and giving false statements. This is according to Special Counsel Mueller's office, which has spent almost 2 years now investigating the potential of election meddling by Russia. Stone is scheduled to appear in court later today. No other information was immediately available about the arrest or the charges. But Stone has been under scrutiny for months, but has maintained his innocence.
ABC News 4 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Emily Gracie.
A chilly start to our Friday. That cold front came through yesterday, brought some wild weather to the area. Things are settling down here this morning, but they are cooler. So a live look outside right now over downtown. Still dark, still early, still cold. We are at 36 degrees. At least we are above the freezing mark, and we haven't seen any reports of frost out there. But you will need to bundle up as you are headed out the door here this morning. Those temperatures not going to warm up a ton today. Let's talk about the past 2 weeks. It has been an up and down ride here as far as temperatures. Take a look. This line right here, those are normal temperatures, and this is a look at where we've sat over the past couple of weeks. And we haven't been normal really hardly at all. We've had some below average days, a lot of above average days. Look at this week alone, where those temperatures earlier this week were in the 40s, and then we rose into the 70s. Yesterday, a warm day as well at 69 degrees. A little bit different here this morning, but overall, our warmer temperatures are sticking around here for winter. So we're on average about 3.2 degrees warmer overall for those winter months than we were back in 1970. Sign of a warming earth out there, and certainly a warming Charleston. And while it has felt cold here this morning, the overall pattern here over the past several decades has been to get a little bit warmer. Let's talk about the bigger picture here, though. We do have some sunshine in our forecast today, along with that cooler temperatures as high pressure takes control. Even with a weak front passing later today, we're not going to see any rain and really hardly even any clouds with that. As that front comes through, though, reinforcing that cool air. So if you think it's cold this morning, just wait till tomorrow morning. Those temperatures will drop down below the freezing mark pretty much everywhere by early tomorrow. So plants, pets come inside tomorrow morning. This morning, it's cold out there, but not as cold as it will be for the start of the weekend. We're getting that northwesterly wind. It's pretty light right now, much calmer than yesterday. Still a light breeze out there, making it feel like it's below freezing, even though it's not. We're going to stay dry and clear through the entire day today, tonight as well, and we are going into tomorrow. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Cold, but dry and clear. So sunshine sticking around for the weekend. It is going to be dry into early next week. Our next front not coming until the middle of next week. So today, temperatures in the mid-50s, 55 in Moncks Corner this afternoon, 56 in Charleston, mid-50s up and down the beaches as well. But tonight is when things get cold, down to 31 in Moncks Corner, 30 here in Charleston, 29 in Somerville, and as low as 28 for that overnight low in Walterboro. So starting off our Saturday with some cold temperatures. Nice little rebound coming, though. I'll let you know which days next week we will be in the 60s, and when that rain comes in, that's coming up in the 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
This ABC News 4 Traffic Tracker Report is sponsored by Fred Anderson Toyota of Charleston.
Crashing in Berkeley County at Old Rice Mill Road at Teal Road, slowing things down in that area, but there's no injuries being reported from that crashing. We also have another crash along Palmetto Commerce Parkway and Latson Road. Injuries are being reported from that scene, according to Charleston County Dispatch. Now, the other wreck that you saw that we told you about earlier near Palmetto Commerce Parkway and Ashley Phosphate Road, that wreck scene has since cleared. Taking a look now out to Trooper Bob, who's at that fire. And Bob, they have the roadway closed. You're seeing a lot of fire, a lot of smoke in the area, but you say the fire's out now?
Right, officials are telling me the fire is out. They're still putting a little more water on it. As you can see, the hose is all the way back to where we are here, and we're several hundred yards away from the fire. So they still have to clean all this hose up, wrap all this hose up, and get all their equipment out. So they told me it'll be probably about another 45 minutes, could be another hour.
All right, Bob, thank you. Are you feeling stressed? Well, today's number of the day takes a look at how many Americans will treat themselves. According to the American Massage Therapy Association, approximately 47 million Americans enjoyed massages over the course of the past 12 months. That number includes 21% of the nation's women and 16% of men. So please do it for me, because I want it so bad.
I need
right
a
now.
massage.
Go and treat yourself. And if you're looking for some extra cash and you love baseball, well, listen up. The River Dogs need to fill more than 200 game day positions. A job fair coming up next Saturday. All you got to do is drop by the Joe on Fishburne Street from 11 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon. A second job fair is going to be held there on March the 9th.
And looking ahead to this weekend, forget about the Super Bowl. It's time for the Puppy Bowl. Love it. Puppy breath galore. Mount Pleasant Town Center will put on its second annual Puppy Bowl and Family Fun Day. You're encouraged to dress the pooch in their best game wear to win a prize. It costs $5 to enter. Proceeds will go to the Charleston Animal Society.
That's wonderful there. All right, following that breaking news, a fire out in Hollywood. We'll get you a live update and a look at the scene when we come in.
We're tracking that fire in Hollywood that we've been following this morning. Trooper Bob on the scene just posted these photos from a source.
Wow.
You can see flames coming out of the roof there.
A live look for you right there from Trooper Bob's traffic camera. We're not allowed any closer than this. You can obviously tell why, because of those flames there. It's happening at James F. Peterson Company, a family-owned and operated public utilities contractor, where we're going to learn the cause of that fire. And if anyone was hurt, you can check out our website as well as our Twitter accounts for updates throughout the morning. Follow at ABC News 4. You can also follow Trooper Bob. He's been tweeting out pictures at Trooper Bob SC.
And we're also tracking breaking news when it comes to Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. This is new information in from the Associated Press. It just came in within the last few minutes. Roger Stone, an associate of President Donald Trump, has been arrested in Florida. He's charged with witness tampering, obstruction, and giving false statements.
That's according to Special Counsel Robert Mueller's office, which has spent almost 2 years investigating this potential of election meddling by Russia. Stone scheduled to appear in court later today. No other information immediately made available about that arrest or the charges. Now, Stone, of course, has been under scrutiny for months, but has since maintained his innocence.
All right, so we have a crash along Palmetto Commerce Parkway at Latson Road. No injuries being reported, but there's a new wreck popping up along Ashley Phosphate at Rivers Avenue, and that's a busy intersection, so I know it's going to slow things down in that area. No reports yet of injuries from that scene, so be careful as you're traveling through North Charleston this morning. There's been a lot of wrecks in that area. This is a live look right now, 26 East and West at the College Park Road exit. Starting to see that slowdown in the eastbound lanes, but does kind of break up once you get down by Eagle Drive as folks are approaching 526. Drive times right now, 19 minutes to 526 from Somerville, 28 minutes to downtown Charleston. Still just a 12-minute drive, though, from Ashley Phosphate Road to downtown Charleston. Again, Trooper Bob is on the scene of that fire out in Hollywood. They do have the road blocked in that area. Salters Hill Road is going to be your alternate route. Emily?
All right, we are looking at a cool down out there. It's chilly this morning, even colder air coming in tomorrow morning, Sunday as well. Our afternoons will make it into the 50s with plenty of sunshine and a small rebound back into the low 60s by Monday, mid 60s by Tuesday. A cold front is coming through Tuesday night, and it is going to cool us way down. We go from those mid 60s Tuesday to 40s for afternoon highs Wednesday and Thursday. So the up and downs continue. Saw that graph I showed, up and down, all month long.
You got motion sickness.
That's fine, right? Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, what a great weekend. All that sunshine. You got the largest oyster roast in the world
I think the weather's going to be perfect for
Awesome.
that.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I'm excited.
Looking
for it.
forward to that. I'll
Bring
be in
your
Park Circle.
shucker.
I know, right? And your glove?
I was doing oyster roast with Bob, and he had his own.
Really?
Yeah, I was impressed.
So you have like a utility belt?
Just 2 folks.
Yeah. Good Morning America's up next. If you're looking for more local news, tune over to the Fox 24 Morning News at 7.
Oysters. Now we can honor America with our Daily Pledge, brought to you by Miss Sandage's first grade class at Laurel Hill Elementary. Have a happy and safe weekend, everybody.
Have a blessed one.